You've done everything you were told was right. You've been the nice guy your whole life. You're respectful, a great listener. You open her doors, pay for dates, and you're always there for her. So why are you reading this alone? Why does she always seem to end up with the bad boy, the guy who puts in half the effort while you're stuck in the friend zone staring at your phone waiting for a text that never shows up? You're left confused, frustrated, and wondering, why isn't she obsessed with you? Here's the truth. Attraction isn't a logical process. It's not a checklist where being nice gets the top score. It's a raw, primal, and deeply psychological response. For too long, you have been trying to appeal to her logic when you should have been speaking to her psychology. You've been playing checkers while the game is chess. Today we're pulling back the curtain. I'm going to reveal 9 psychological triggers that most men will never understand. This isn't about being a jerk or playing manipulative games. This is about understanding female psychology to flip her attraction switch, making her see you not as just a friend or a backup plan, but as the one man she can't imagine living without. If you're ready to stop finishing last, you need to pay close attention. Let's dive into the first trigger. The scarcity trigger. Okay, number 1 is the scarcity trigger, and it's probably the biggest mistake a nice guy makes. He thinks that to show a woman he's interested, he has to be constantly available, always responsive, and always there. He'll double text, clear his schedule at a moment's notice, and make her the absolute center of his world from day one. In his head, he's showing commitment. In her head, he's showing he has nothing else going on. Psychologically, we all place a higher value on things that are scarce and a lower value on things that are abundant. It's a basic principle. Think about it. Why are diamonds valuable? Because they're rare. Why does everyone want the limited edition sneakers? Because not everyone can have them. You are no different. When you're always available, you become common. You become predictable. And predictability is the death of attraction. Activating the scarcity trigger isn't about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to get because you're genuinely busy building a life. You have a purpose, a mission, hobbies, a social life, and you're working on yourself relentlessly. Your time is your most valuable asset, and you don't just give it away to anyone. So, how do you use this? It's simple. Don't answer her texts immediately. Sometimes let it sit for an hour or even a few. You're not being rude, you're busy. When she asks, "What are you up to tonight?" Don't always say, "Nothing. What do you want to do?" Have plans. Even if your plans are just hitting the gym or reading a book, those are your plans. Sometimes you're just not available. You can say, "I'm tied up tonight, but I'd love to grab that drink Thursday. You free then?" This creates space. It creates a vacuum. And in that space, she starts to wonder, what's he doing? Who's he with? Is he thinking about me as much as I'm starting to think about him? You're no longer just a source of validation for her. You're a man whose world she wants to be a part of. You've become a challenge. You've become scarce. And that makes you infinitely more valuable. The leadership trigger. The second trigger is the leadership trigger. One of the most common and attraction-killing habits of the modern nice guy is his deep-seated fear of making a decision. He thinks being agreeable makes him attractive. He'll ask, "So what do you want to eat?" "I don't know. Where do you want to go?" Whatever time works for you is fine. He's trying to be accommodating, but what he's really communicating is a lack of direction, a lack of confidence, and a fear of leading. Now, women aren't looking for a dictator, but they are deeply, biologically drawn to a man who can lead. A man with a plan. A man who is decisive. This taps into a primal need for safety and competence. When you can't even decide on a restaurant, her subconscious mind starts to question if you could lead a family, handle a crisis, or be a rock in a storm. It might sound dramatic, but attraction works on this deep, symbolic level. Framing yourself as the prize begins right here. The prize doesn't ask the contestant what to do next. The prize sets the stage. So from now on, you lead. This doesn't mean you ignore what she wants. It means you take the initiative. Instead of, "Want to hang out sometime?" you say, "Let's get drinks. I know this cool spot I want to show you. Are you free Thursday at 8 p.m.? See the difference? One is a timid question. The other is a confident invitation, a plan, an act of leadership. When you're on the date, have an idea for what's next. After this, I know a great little dessert place around the corner. You're creating the experience. You're guiding her on an adventure. This allows her to relax, enjoy the ride, and feel the magnetic pull of a man who is confidently in charge of his own reality. Even if your plan isn't perfect, the act of making a decision and leading is far more attractive than passive indecision. It shows you're not afraid to take a risk, and that confidence is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Stop asking for permission to lead. Just lead. The tension trigger. All right, trigger number 3 is the tension trigger. The nice guy lives in a world of flat lines. His conversations are safe. His compliments are direct, constant, and laid bare from the first second. He's trying to create this smooth, frictionless path to her heart. The problem is, attraction isn't born in smoothness. It's born in tension. Think about a great movie or a great song. It's not just one monotonous note, right? It's a dynamic journey of highs and lows, of tension and release. That's what creates emotional investment. Romantic tension is the exact same thing. It's the will they, won't they feeling that keeps you glued to the screen. The nice guy kills this tension completely by putting all his cards on the table, face up, before the game has even started. To build this tension, you need to master the art of push-pull. It's a communication style that playfully mixes compliments with challenges, and warmth with a bit of aloofness. Think 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This isn't about being hot and cold to mess with her head. It's about being unpredictable and playful. Here's how it works. You give a push, something that creates a little distance or a fun challenge. Then you give a pull, something that draws her back in. For example, she says, "I just finished a marathon." The nice guy says, "Wow, that's so amazing. You're incredible." A boring, predictable pull. The attractive man might say, "A full marathon? You're nuts. I bet you were walking by mile 5. That's a playful push tease. She'll laugh and defend herself. Then you pull her back in. "I'm just messing with you. That's seriously impressive. We should celebrate your crazy accomplishment." Here's another one. You're in a great conversation, and then you're the one to end it first. The pull is the great conversation itself. The push is you saying, "Hey, this was fun, but I've got to run. Talk to you later." You leave her wanting more. You've created an open loop in her mind. This push-pull dynamic injects novelty and challenge into the interaction. It spikes her emotions. It makes her feel that spark of something exciting and uncertain. She's not quite sure if you're completely sold on her yet, and that makes her want to earn your interest. It turns a boring interview into a fun game. You're not just another admirer in her DMs. You're the man who challenges her, teases her, and makes her feel alive. That is the core of romantic tension. The high-value validation trigger. The 4th trigger, the high-value validation trigger, is one of the most powerful. Every single person on this planet craves validation. We want to feel seen, appreciated, and approved of. The nice guy gets this, but his execution is all wrong. He showers a woman with validation from the second he meets her. "You're so beautiful. You're so smart. You're so funny." He gives it away for free, like flyers on a street corner. And because it's so freely given, it's completely worthless. Seriously, think about it. If someone compliments every single thing you do, does their praise mean anything? Of course not. It just becomes background noise. She knows she's beautiful. She's been told that by hundreds of guys. Your compliment doesn't make you stand out. It just lumps you in with all the rest. A man who truly gets attraction knows that his validation is a reward. It's something to be earned. By being selective and specific with his approval, he makes his validation incredibly powerful and addictive. Here's the shift. Stop complimenting her on things she can't control, like her looks. Instead, validate her for her effort, her character, her choices, or her unique quirks. Instead of, "You have beautiful eyes," wait until she says something really insightful or witty. Then pause, look at her and say, "That was a really sharp way of putting that. I like the way your mind works." Instead of, "You look so good tonight," wait until she tells you about a goal she crushed at work and say, "It's clear you're incredibly driven." That kind of passion is rare. and it's really impressive. Do you feel the power in that? You're not just validating her, you're showing that you're a man with high standards. You aren't easily impressed by a pretty face. You're looking for something deeper. Character, intelligence, drive. This instantly frames you as a man of substance, a selector, not a supplicant. When you finally do give her that validation, it feels like a genuine win for her. She earned it from a man whose opinion actually matters. She'll start to subconsciously seek out your approval, try to impress you, and wonder what you think of her. Your validation becomes a powerful hook, not because you're being manipulative, but because you've made it mean something. You've made it high value. The pratfall trigger. This next trigger might feel a little counterintuitive, but it's backed by solid psychology. It's called the pratfall trigger. The nice guy feels like he has to project this image of absolute perfection. He hides his flaws, agrees with everything, and tries to be this unflappable, flawless robot. He thinks any sign of imperfection will scare her away. The reality? Perfection isn't relatable. It's intimidating, and honestly, a little weird. The pratfall effect is a psychological finding that shows our attractiveness actually goes up when we make a small mistake, or show a minor flaw, but only if we were already seen as competent. When a high-status person pratfalls or messes up, it makes them seem more human, approachable, and likable. But if a mediocre person makes the same mistake, it just confirms that they're mediocre. This is why this trigger is so powerful when you combine it with the others, especially the leadership trigger. First, you establish your competence. You're decisive, you have a purpose, you're confident, you are clearly a high-value man. Then, you reveal a small, authentic flaw. This is the moment you go from being an intimidating, perfect guy to a real, relatable, and much more attractive man. This is not about dumping your deepest traumas on the first date. It's not about being a mess or complaining. It's about controlled vulnerability. For instance, maybe you're on a date telling a confident story and you accidentally spill a little water. Instead of getting flustered, you just laugh it off and say, "And this is why they trust me with a multi-million-dollar project at work, but not a simple glass of water." It shows you don't take yourself too seriously. Or maybe you're talking about hobbies. You could mention you're disciplined at the gym and in your career, but you're a terrible cook. "I can strategize a business plan for days, but I will absolutely burn toast. My kitchen skills are a total disaster zone." This small act of self-deprecating humor and authenticity breaks that perfect facade. It gives her permission to be imperfect around you too. It builds a bridge of real connection. She sees you're confident enough to not be perfect. It shows you're comfortable in your own skin, flaws and all. The nice guy tries to connect by showing how similar he is to her. The attractive man connects by showing he's confident enough to be different and human enough to be flawed. We've just covered 5 incredibly potent triggers, and if you start applying even just these, you will see a dramatic shift in how women respond to you. But look, mastering the nuances of this stuff, especially the more advanced triggers we're about to cover, takes practice. It's about making this a part of who you are, not just reciting lines from a script. The protector trigger. Let's move on to trigger number 6. The protector trigger. When we talk about being a protector, the nice guy often gets the wrong idea. He either does nothing because he doesn't want to rock the boat, or he overcorrects and thinks he needs to be some aggressive alpha male looking for a fight. Both are completely wrong. The protector trigger isn't about physical dominance. It's about creating a bubble of psychological safety. It's about a woman feeling that when she is with you, she is safe, not just from the world, but safe from judgment, from disrespect, and from chaos. This taps into one of the most fundamental evolutionary desires for a partner who can provide security. So how do you show this without being a thug? It's in the small things. It's about having a spine. It's about having principles you won't break for anyone. Imagine you're on a date and the waiter is rude to her. The nice guy does nothing. He's afraid to cause a scene. Later he'll say, "Wow, that guy was a jerk." The protector handles it, calmly and decisively, right there in the moment. He doesn't need to yell or make a scene. He can just make eye contact with the waiter and say, "Is there a problem here?" You need to adjust your tone when you speak to her. He addresses the disrespect, neutralizes the threat to her comfort, and restores order. Can you imagine the immense power of that? This also applies to how you protect her from others. If a friend makes a joke at her expense that crosses a line, you don't laugh along. You subtly shut it down. Hey, not cool. You protect her reputation, even when she isn't around. If you hear someone gossiping about her, you either defend her or you walk away. Most importantly, you have to show you can protect yourself and your own boundaries. This is crucial. A man who lets people walk all over him can't be trusted to protect anyone else. When you stand up for yourself, when you calmly tell a friend they've crossed a line, or when you walk away from a situation that compromises your values, you are broadcasting strength. You're showing her that you are a man of substance, a rock. She will feel an overwhelming sense of peace and security in your presence, and that feeling is something she will crave more than any fleeting compliment. The emotional spike trigger. Trigger number 7 is the emotional spike trigger. Relationships aren't built on logic, they're built on shared emotional experiences. The single biggest crime the nice guy commits is being boring. His conversations are a flat line of agreeableness. How was your day? Good, and yours? What kind of music do you like? It feels more like a job interview than a seduction. Women don't fall for the guy who provides the most stable, logical conversation. They fall for the guy who makes them feel something. Anything. Excitement, laughter, intrigue, suspense, deep connection, even a tiny bit of playful frustration. This is the emotional spike trigger. Your job is to be the conductor of an emotional orchestra, not the guy playing a single note on a triangle. Stop trying to avoid all forms of disagreement. Playful, low-stakes disagreement is a fantastic way to create spikes. If she says she loves a movie that you think is just okay, don't just mindlessly agree. Her. That was the best movie I've ever seen. Nice guy. Oh yeah, it was great. Attractive man. The best movie ever? Are you serious? I don't think we can be friends anymore. That plot had more holes than a block of Swiss cheese. Just make sure you say it with a smirk. This creates a fun, dynamic back and forth. You're not attacking her. You're playfully challenging her opinion in a way that generates sparks. Humor is another powerful tool. Not just telling canned jokes, but finding the humor in the moment. Being witty, teasing her, like we talked about with the tension trigger. Another way to spike emotions is to go deep. Don't be afraid to ask questions that go beyond the surface level. Instead of, "What do you do for work?" try asking, "What's the most passionate you've ever felt about something you worked on?" Instead of, "Where are you from?" try, "What's one place in the world where you feel most alive?" These questions break the script and create a genuine emotional connection. They make her think and feel. Your goal is to make your time together an escape from her monotonous, everyday life. You want her to associate you with feeling alive. When she's away from you, her life will feel a little more gray, a little flatter, and she'll find herself thinking about you, craving that next hit of emotional color that only you can provide. The fear of loss trigger. This next trigger is the most advanced and misunderstood, and it must be handled with total integrity. This is the fear of loss trigger. Let's be crystal clear. This is not about manipulation. It's not about threatening to leave her to get your way or playing cruel hot and cold games. That's just toxic behavior, and it only builds dysfunctional relationships based on anxiety. The true fear of loss trigger is a natural byproduct of having immense self-respect. It's the unspoken understanding that you have unshakable standards, and if those standards are repeatedly disrespected, you have the strength to walk away. You will choose your self-respect over the relationship, every single time. The nice guy has no fear of loss trigger because he's already decided he'll do anything to keep her. He tolerates flakiness, disrespect, and low effort because he's terrified of being alone. He has already lost because he has shown her that there is no price for his presence. The high-value man operates differently. He communicates his boundaries through his actions, not through threats. Let's say you have a date planned and she cancels last minute with a flimsy excuse for the second time in a row. The nice guy says, "Oh, okay, no problem. We can do it another time. Just let me know when you're free." He signals that his time is worthless and he'll wait around forever. The man who respects himself might say something like, "That's a shame. I was looking forward to it. It sounds like things are pretty hectic for you right now. Why don't you get in touch when your schedule clears up?" Feel the difference? It's calm. It's not angry. But it's a clear takeaway. You're not chasing. You're not begging for a reschedule. You are gently removing your attention and energy. This creates a healthy fear of loss. She realizes that access to you isn't guaranteed. It's a privilege, and that privilege can be revoked if it isn't respected. This forces her to step up. It makes her recognize your value and decide, either she invests in you properly, or she risks losing you for good. This isn't a game. It's the fundamental price of admission for a relationship with a man who knows his own worth. And there is nothing more attractive than that. The unfinished story trigger. Finally, we arrive at trigger number 9, the unfinished story trigger. The human brain hates open loops. We crave closure. It's why cliffhangers in TV shows are so ridiculously effective. When a story is left unfinished, our minds will work overtime trying to figure out what happens next. You can use this exact principle to stay on her mind long after your date is over. The nice guy does the opposite. He seeks total closure at the end of every interaction. He'll stay on the date way too long or text endlessly afterward, trying to wrap everything up in a neat little bow and lock down the next date immediately. He closes all the loops, leaving her with absolutely nothing to wonder about. The master of attraction intentionally leaves loops open. He creates an unfinished story that she feels compelled to finish in her own mind. This technique is often called future pacing. During your conversation, you can subtly plant seeds for a future adventure together. For instance, if you're talking about travel and she says she's always wanted to try authentic Italian food, don't just say, "Oh, that's cool." Plant a seed. Say, "The best carbonara isn't in Rome. It's at this little back alley place I know. One day we'll have to go and I'll show you." Or if you pass a quirky-looking ice cream shop, you might say, "We have to come back and try that place sometime." These aren't hard plans. They are narrative seeds. You've just created a small, unfinished story in her head. You and her on a future adventure. When she's at home later, her mind will naturally drift back to that image. She'll picture it. She'll wonder about it. She'll be emotionally invested in a future with you before it has even happened. Another way to do this is to end the date at a high point. When the conversation is flowing and the laughter is genuine, that's your cue. That's when you say, "This has been an amazing night. I've got an early start tomorrow, but we'll pick this up again soon." You are intentionally cutting the story short, leaving her on a cliffhanger, already excited for the next episode. By creating these unfinished stories, you are no longer just a guy she went on a date with. You are an open tab in her brain. You are a source of intrigue and possibility. You're not just in her phone, you're in her daydreams. And that is how you go from being just another nice guy to the man she can't stop thinking about. So there you have it, the 9 psychological triggers that separate the nice guys who finish last from the attractive, confident men who captivate women. The scarcity trigger, the leadership trigger, the tension trigger, high-value validation, the pratfall trigger, the protector trigger, the emotional spike trigger, the fear of loss trigger, and the unfinished story trigger. But I have to end with a crucial warning. This knowledge is powerful, and like any form of power, it can be used for good or for bad. If you use these triggers to manipulate people, to play with their emotions, or to be a dishonest player, you will ultimately end up alone and unfulfilled. The goal here isn't to become a bad boy or a jerk. The goal is to stop being a man who lacks boundaries, self-respect, and a real understanding of attraction. The ultimate truth is that becoming truly attractive is an inside job. It's about building yourself into a man of purpose and high value, so that these triggers aren't techniques you're using, but are natural expressions of who you've become. It's about having such a full and exciting life that you are naturally scarce. It's about having such a strong mission that you are a natural leader. It's about respecting yourself so much that you naturally have boundaries that create a healthy fear of loss. Stop trying to be nice. Instead, be authentic, be confident, Be bold. Be a man of substance. Build your empire, and the right woman will want to be a part of it. Use this knowledge ethically. Become the man you were always meant to be, and watch as your entire love life transforms forever.